Quick question. Could you talk a little bit about the Canao, like on your end, because the history of it, like as much as you know, that is,
Yeah, so it was
Mm.
5 families. My family was in it. It was originally, I want to say it was 1980. I think it was like 1987 or something like that.
Hold on. Let me frame it for the guys in Canada, because if you haven't been there, it's like, because if like on the West Coast, because we haven't really organized it in the way that they have in the East Coast. So when we do Canao, it's usually like a fundraiser done in a ballroom, have dinner, and then like we do a little bit of the dances, and then have a dinner dance at the end, kind of thing. So it's like a gala. But over there on the East Coast, all the different Igorot organizations come together and they celebrate like a big camping trip along with all kinds of fun organized activities. So it's major. Like the East Coast, on the East Coast, this
like
event is major.
You guys got to come out when you can. You guys will love it. I mean, it's exactly what he said.
Sorry, I just had to frame it before you got into the history.
No, I'm glad you did that, because I do remember looking at like Instagram photos of like California Canao, and I was like, "Ooh, I wonder what games they play," or whatever. And it's all like everyone dressed.
It's different, man. It's different.
No, it's different. Different.
We're going to see gala night. But yeah, so basically started out with 5 families. It was my parents, because they lived in California. They lived in San Diego, and they were part of that San Diego at that time. And they had their kind of stuff. They brought it to the East Coast. And then that's when they formed their own Canao. And originally it was at this small little base in near Chesapeake Bay, and near Annapolis, and near Maryland.
Wow.
And then a lot of people started to come, so they needed a bigger area. And then a lot of people came from the north and the south, so they made it more central.
How many organizations come in together for this?
Oh, man, definitely more than I'm going to say, but from what I know, it's Northeast, BMXGC, another Maryland organization, I forgot their name, Virginia Beach, Southeast, Texas then joined. And everyone,
Texas.
Yeah, they drive. I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, it became like a big thing in Florida. Like, I think I've heard of the Southeast group. I'm pretty sure I'm missing like 3. But yeah, it's a big deal. So what we do, the first night's always a youth night, like a true youth, like children come out and do like a show. And then each meal is assigned to a different group. So like I know Virginia Beach will always do breakfast Sunday morning or brunch, because they're the ones who live there. So they'll clean up and everything. And then like DC will be in charge of dinner Saturdays. Northeast will be in charge of lunch, and so that's how we all assign all the food. The food operations. But then we got into like the day sports on Saturday. So Friday everybody arrives. There's always a golf tournament, because uncles and aunties. And then Friday evening, youth night and dinner. Saturday we do breakfast, and then we begin the games between softball, basketball, tug of war, and then other little games. But it's always like
the competition's pretty like it gets intense between you guys out there.
It can get a little scary. It's been questionable. We actually had to take out basketball because it just got too intense.
Wow. People hacking.
Too much pow.
Yeah. And then they do like a mile run in the morning and stuff like that. And then after all the games, then we have cultural night, and that's where every organization will present a different number. And then Sunday we have math, and then brunch, and then the award ceremony, where there's like a big trophy, like a big Canao trophy. Like if you're the overall winner for the overall sports, then you get that trophy. And then that trophy just, moves to a different place every year. Then there's golf trophies, volleyball trophies, first, second, third place,
Right.
Stuff like that. So it's a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. And
it's pretty significant.
Yeah, from 5 families to like a lot of people.
Yeah, so, right.
Yeah.
So you're saying the original idea came from the San Diego Bebop?
It did. Yeah, at least from what I know. At least that's the story that I know. That were my parents originally. Yeah, because that's that's the group that they were part of when they were
In the
stationed.
beginning.
So they did Canao.
That's right, because your dad was in the military, so he was down in San Diego where the
Yeah.
bases were. Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, and the West Coast, like the intention was always there. I remember somebody from the East Coast, it might have even been your dad, was saying, "Hey, don't do it, because if you guys start doing it, no one's gonna go to ours." Yeah,
Like that, yeah.
yeah. But the thing is that if I can remember, like there were talks, but I think that at that time everybody was dealing with their own politics within their own group,
Yeah.
and so I think that's why that never came into fruition. But because
I
you got
remember attending something like that down in LA like 6 years ago, back in 2015. There were people, there were Igorots or Bebop from what's that, Nevada, Arizona.
Oh, that's the
And I
sports
think
thing, right?
Yes, it was just Sports Fest though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sports fest. They have something like that. Yeah, that's true. They have-
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like the closest thing that I experienced back in the day. Because
Mm.
like it was San Diego, Koei, I think Benguet 13, and then people from Arizona and Nevada, they all came down
Yeah.
that 1 year.
I think that's definitely derived. I would say it's probably influenced by the East Coast Canao, that spirit
Yeah,
of
they're probably just
competition and
looking
stuff.
at like how things looking. It's just a big community thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
totally.
Yeah, we always said that we wanted to do one of those things, but our group never did because like we had to think of a sport that we actually could win at. And I
Yeah.
think the only thing that we could is probably
Tug of
like
war, tug of
target.
war.
We could probably do like
Darts.
target shooting or something, and
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
shooting actually. 'Cause I know
shooting.
some of the
Yeah,
guys
that
are
would
good at
be
shooting.
yeah, that would be the one that we would win at. We'd have to go get a range.
It's funny, man. Yeah, we on our side we don't have the big Kanya, but we just have they have quite a few events throughout the year of gathering, so that kind of
Yeah.
makes up for it just in our area though. But man, yeah, that is an amazing amount of organizing. When you think about
Mhm.
like bringing all these different organizations together, and then having something like a Igorot Olympics.
Listen, it's so funny. I tried to do it for Hawaii. I tried to do
Oh.
Mhm.
America versus England versus Canada versus New Zealand, versus whatever. But it was
Oh, that would have been interesting.
would have been awesome. Would have been it
Yeah.
was a logistical mess, but like it was.
Yeah.
Well, that's still something I still want to do.
It was challenging though, because we didn't have enough people on the ground to help
Yeah.
us out.
Yeah, then that
was the
is
only thing.
exactly where it was like, this might be messy. Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't have locations set.
No. Yeah.
Right. That
Man.
would be.
Do you think
another
something
thing.
like that would be feasible in the future?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. As long as there's people on the ground to help us out to locate a position in the space, then
Yeah,
it would just be a matter of
logistics would be-
organizing. Yeah, organizing like who
The
wants to
local
be what.
logistics would be the challenge.
Yes.
Yeah, what I ran into when I was trying to do that was there wasn't enough time.
Mhm.
So like if we had a whole day that we could have added on, it would have been okay.
Mm.
And it was the resort, so like it was a military resort, so we only had access to certain things. So that
Yeah,
was
that's
something
right.
that I ran into. Although we were so close to organizing a volleyball game, but that just became like a friendly thing and not an Olympic thing. But otherwise, it's definitely something I'd want to do, or try to do, or help out with in the future. In a future, actually.
In England over here, they are pretty intense with because a lot of the folks in the UK, they're like about their 30s and early 40s. There's a lot of folks out here at that age, and so they're really still competitive. They do every freaking sport. Like they have a picnic day, or they call it sport day, and they'll do like everything from relay races to basketball to baseball to just a bunch of these crazy team games, and then they do it by like province, and man, it can get a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could get kind of.
It's not even by organization because it's by province, and it's like,
Oh no, once you start doing that, man, you could get kind of like you could get I think that's probably why we didn't do those things.
Yeah.
The leaders over in this side said, "Nah, we just end up being fighting each other."
Although I'd say like the leaders on our side, like in Northern California, are pretty chill though. I don't think they're.
Yeah, I think that was just something that, hey, I'd rather get together and drink whiskey with you.
Yeah,
than,
that's what they did
like,
is drink a lot.
yeah, that's what they
hang
did,
out.
right?
Drink,
They
hang
did
out,
that all the time
chill.
anyway.
Yeah, and sing country music. So it's like
And
Yeah.
sing country music. That's what
and
we
then-
did, actually.
and then pull out the gong so they can line dance. So,
Yeah.
Oh man,
I
yeah,
have
yeah,
to say, I think
Yeah.
over here the sports by province actually worked, and it got a lot of
Yeah.
people to join.
I was gonna say,
Because otherwise, everybody's just
Mm.
split off in their own groups,
mhm.
and doing
Yeah.
gatherings that way instead of regular
that's true.
through
That it
Bebop.
brings
So
people together.
it
Mhm.
kind of worked.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
Like
and
before
it
the
wasn't too
pandemic,
bad.
they started implementing that. They organized a sports fest, and basically all these people that never went to Bebop, they're all Igorots. They started like participating. We're like, oh, what the heck?
Mm.
Where'd they come from? And then the pandemic hit. So
Yeah, yeah. That'd be interesting if we tried to pull it off in Northern California, something like that, because we've never done that.
Well, they're doing
so-
it in LA, so I think the idea is that everybody, if they
Yeah,
want to participate, go down
Yeah.
to the big one in LA.
yeah.
I'd love to do is we could do rally racing. Just grab old cars and just do demolition derby, man. That would just be so.
That's
awesome.
another
Or-
level, bro.
or-
That's
or
another
big
level.
car crushing. Hey, let's just make up our own monster trucks, and I'll call mine Bigfoot, Big Feet, Igorot, Big Feet. Anyways,
They did do leg wrestling one year at the Canao.
Oh, like the Ifugao style or leg wrestling?
oh my gosh, leg wrestling.
Anybody get hurt?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I think a few uncles had cramps, and they
I can totally see that happening. Like
Yeah.
hamstring. Oh man,
or like,
groin issues.
Groin
Oh.
issue. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Make sure you got insurance for that one.
yeah,
Oh.
I do remember that. 'Cause I was like, because then they didn't do it again. I don't know what.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can see that being painful to some people.
Here, especially after tug of war. But yeah.
But yeah, I have to give it to the folks over here, like who are running the Igorot UK, like, people who are involved, because Igorot UK is an umbrella organization of all the different provincial organizations. That's how it works now over
Mm.
here. So the big people have their thing, and they're all kind of separated. And like you said, it's true, when you have that sports day, it is nice because they all come together. And although it gets competitive, it's still a spirit. There's still a good spirit that comes through it. And then I don't see any bad blood with each other, although they have their own. Everybody has their own weird politics going on, but it's kind of nice to see, as long as it brings people together. I think it's
For sure. I mean,
yeah.
and that's what I love about like what you guys are saying too up in Canada, like how the sport was just evolving. I mean, say they don't do the cultural stuff, but they come to and do sport stuff. Like, of course, now I'm thinking like business minded, but like it's a great marketing tool to get them to come do the sports and they play,
Mhm.
and they,
Yeah.
who knows? Like they might learn how to play the gong. Or, they'll learn something from it.
Yeah, that's
It's a
true.
great way, as you said, to bring people together. Like it's awesome. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I love
Unlike-
hearing about what you guys were doing on the east, because the closest we came was doing Canyos with Seattle.
Yeah.
We used to do
Closest
those.
neighbors.
We would go over down there. I guess we would switch every year. Obviously, we can't cross the border now, but yeah, we'd switch every year, and they would host. We would host. But usually, if they hosted, it was in some military base, and there's like huge ground. Everybody camps there and stuff. And yeah, every time we went, it was pretty fun. It was pretty awesome. And
Was it like
was-
a big camping event, kind of like?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
okay, right
camped
on.
that. I think I only remember camping with them one time, but they did it basically every year.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
crossed the border for that. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So what
That's
happened now? Are you guys not? Oh, I
COVID.
forgot.
Can't even cross the border.
That is a thing to kind of bring up though, with COVID, because there's a lot of things that's happened. Like, the one thing I can say, if there's ever been people who, like, let's say they have issues with each other within the community. The nice thing is that when you have these gatherings, these Igorot gatherings, and there's like, it used to be that there was always like an Igorot gathering almost like once a month over here. And then people can kind of like, even just being in each other's presence, whatever like baggage you have about with somebody, if you're just in their presence, it kind of fades away. But what I've observed is that since we've been in lockdown and we haven't had any gatherings for like a year and a half now, it's been kind of I
All
don't
the
know.
tensions have remained. Then.
All the tensions have remained amongst certain people, right? So the I don't know. Have you guys been able to do anything since COVID at all? Any of the groups?
We had like a production show in the middle of lockdown.
I don't even know
last
how that
year.
worked, and that was
Yeah,
how that was
no, it
approved.
was-
But
Luckily, because we were partnering with the Canadian Red Cross, it was okay in that sense. So we had like everything was already set, but then the province did a province-wide shutdown, which affected like basically everything. I know a lot of people in the wedding industry, like they had to cancel most of their stuff again, basically. But for us, like for the whole 8 months since March, or 6 months since March, BVAC didn't do anything. BVAC Vancouver didn't do anything.
Wow.
They had some meetings and whatnot, but then in the summer they were like, hey, there's a bunch of government assistance programs for cultural stuff. And then one of the uncles, Uncle Cliff, was like, hey, let's utilize it. And then we were getting everything set and everything like that. All the youth were the ones like organizing everything. And then the lockdown happened.
Real youth, not us.
like 10 years younger than me, youth.
Okay, real youth.
Actual
Teenagers
youth.
and
Exactly. Children.
Yeah.
Children. But yeah, they were the ones that were organizing everything. They were the ones like making the set and everything like that. They're the ones, they've been the ones that are actually like super active. They're the ones that are keeping basically like BVAC in the cultural stuff alive, essentially, from our neck of the woods. But yeah, so in the middle of November, everything shut down, and then we were like, is this still happening? But luckily, because of that, because the fact that we were partnered with the Canadian government essentially and Canadian Red Cross, it was set to run, albeit like only like 20 people were there. Like
yeah, I think it was more.
Distanced.
Yeah, it was more the amount of people that could come in or not.
Sorry,
I think Igel did. I didn't do anything. Igel did everything.
Oh,
I just took pictures, and then we had a live stream on Facebook. I think we still have the footage for it, but that was the only thing that we've been able to do. Other than that, like no meetings, no. I mean, there's been meetings, but they're all just through Zoom, right? Nothing compared to like how it was before a year ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's a.
Have you guys any of you had been able to do anything?
We haven't done anything. I mean, I think some folks within the community have gotten together and done things on the side, but because we
no official.
No official. Yeah, like we like, and my wife and I haven't been involved much. We've mainly been focusing on church and stuff like that. We haven't been involved with any other gatherings outside, just because since we run a care home, like we have to be really careful, like in exposing ourselves. So, but I think mental health, in terms of like mental health of our folks, man, like just gathering is such a big deal, like just having so is the Canao gonna, I mean, because things are gonna relax at the later portion of the year.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I haven't heard anything about it. I also haven't asked about it, to be fair. I can tell you that my area where we are, and specifically the county that I live in, where they're very strict. I mean, my business was operating at 25% until March 26th. And then now we're at 50%. And like, we're still, this was the most strict county in the nation. yeah, it's been pretty tough. So with that mentality, right? So
Yeah.
like I'm nervous. I'm already I've gotten both of my vaccines, and
Okay, right on.
I've already I still wear 2 masks at work. Like I still, I when I see my parents, like now we're starting to not wear masks, but even then my parents aren't really like taking, having people come in
Mhm.
and into their house or anything. So from what I know, yeah, at least BMFDC for sure has not been gathering within in their groups. A
I
lot of
see.
chatter on Facebook message. I mean, I don't know how I'm in this, but I don't know if you guys are in this, but I'm somehow part of like the IGO Facebook message group. It is like
You're still part of the organization.
Uh,
You're in charge still.
I don't know how I'm in there, but I mean, my phone just like I have to turn my setting off at night because like it will
yeah,
just I mean,
they're constantly on, isn't it?
constantly on. It
Yeah.
is like yeah, it
And
is
it goes through the time zones.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. And it's Easter was a big day for everybody. So it was like Easter for like 2 days really because of the time zones.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, they found a way to connect. That's for sure. Like that is for sure, at least to talking to people, if not engaging in person. So